What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Geek City, and today I'm going to be giving my spoiler review for the Mockingjay Part 2. Please consider liking and subscribing, and with that said, let's get started. This is just my opinion. So, originally, before rewatching it, what I thought was that this Mockingjay Part 2 was the third best one. The first one being Catching Fire, second one Hunger Games, and then this one, and the fourth one being Mockingjay Part 1. But I'm starting to wonder if I should change it to where this one is number 2 instead of the Hunger Games. And the reason for that being is just there's a lot more like action and stuff like that. And the first one, this one just has such just something special about us finally getting watch the Capitol burn and stuff. Like in the first one, it was good that they won, but there still wasn't that victory. They still technically were under the Capitol's rule and everything. So yeah, it was technically a victory. They won the Hunger Games, but in a way, it was it's still gonna be happening. So it doesn't really matter because it's still the Capitol still rules. But in this one, we finally get to see them get taken out. We get to see Coin murdered, Snow murdered, by people, which is really cool. Just a bunch of angry people just beat them to death. So yeah, that stuff is really satisfying. And this one I think is much more sad with the deaths, and it just has a much more emotion. It's much more emotional. The first one was sad when you see characters like Rue die, and I guess some people thought Foxface was kind of sad. Or Thresh, people thought that was emotional. But I think this one is sad because the reason for that being, since this is the finale, some of these characters that died were so close to making it out, but died. Finnick is my favorite Hunger Games character, and he died. And the way he's screaming Katniss, just so terrifying. And then she has to blow him up. Just, I don't like that. And then Boggs, which Boggs wasn't really a sad because we only introduced him in the movie before that, and he wasn't a character that people, I didn't, at least for me, Boggs wasn't a character that I loved or anything, but Finnick, I really hated that. And then also Prim was killed, which I did not see coming whenever I first read the book or saw the movie. Forgive me, but I saw the movie before I saw the book back in, I don't know, 2018 or something. I don't remember, but I watched the movie first. And I just did not see that coming. I did not think that Prim was going to die, because I hadn't read the book yet. So I didn't know that she died. And so I just, was sitting there still watching. Okay, but yeah, just some things about it just hurt. And so whenever you see the Capitol get taken out, it's so awesome, and it's awesome, and you're smiling. And Josh Hutcherson, I think, has been great in all the films, but in this one especially, when with the crazy PETA, whenever the crazy one comes out. Now the Mockingjay Part 1, he did a really good job, but we don't really see him much, so there's not much to go by. But especially in this one, the way he just snaps from normal sweet PETA to crazy, I'm gonna murder you all PETA, really, really good. Especially whenever he's shaking around and especially that's the ending scene in the first Mockingjay, where he's just shaking around, screaming in the medical bed and stuff like that. I don't know where, I can't think. It's really good acting. I mean, again, all the other films, all the acting is good and everything. It's not there's bad acting or anything. It's just I found he was the standout of the last two. So overall, this one, I'm debating whether I like this one more than the first one. Now, I would say that the first one is much more rewatchable. This isn't a movie that I'm going to rewatch a lot. I don't know, there's just something about it. I'm not going to rewatch it a lot. First one I can rewatch much more. It's just much easier to digest, I guess. So there's kind of like two sides to that coin, because if you're talking about like it's easier to watch, just kind of put on and stuff like that, Hunger Games is better, and it has like I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I think this one just the emotion, like it has so much emotion in both the victories and the defeats. So the characters that die, like it hurts so bad, and then you get to see some characters succeed, and then some characters you want to watch just get to fail, and like there's just such emotion about it that I love. I think they did a great job with that type of stuff. So it's really hard to like decide which one I like more, because they're just all like really, really good. Like all of these films I enjoy. Yeah, Mockingjay Part 1 is the weakest just because it's a little slower, but it's not that it's a bad movie. It's just a lot less Hunger Gamesy than the other films. And like the action in this movie is really good. There's not like a whole bunch of it. There's like two main scenes. Well, it's like one main one that's kind of in the middle of the movie, which is when Phoenix dies. Yeah, I'm kidding. But like, yeah, the emotion too is so good, and the action is handled really well. So I really enjoyed the first one, and the first one is much easier to watch and everything like that. But this one, just the emotion to it and everything is so crazy that I love it. And most people don't like the Mockingjay films, but I really like them. And like they're slower than the first two films, because they're not about the Hunger Games. They're about like the war and everything. So they're just different than the first two. I don't like, a lot of people just think they're not as good because they're like slow and everything. I don't think it's slow. It's just different. And they announced that they're going to be a new one, which I'm excited for. And I think if you enjoyed the first two more than you did the last two, you'll probably like that, because it's a little more of a return to form of like the Hunger Games. So if you liked the Hunger Games side to it more than like the war side, then I think that people will enjoy this new one coming out a lot more, because it's like, you know, like an actual Hunger Games again, because we haven't gotten a Hunger Games in 8 years. I believe the second one came out in like 2014, so it's been like 8 years or something. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.